Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for your December mid-month tarot and oracle card reading. We are going to start right away with these beautiful holiday oracles. Then we're going to mix it up a little bit and get a couple of archetype cards. Well, you have the energy of Father Christmas. I absolutely love this card. How did I get here? Lost, perhaps? No worries at all. Gather yourself and clear the frost, for the good still lives in you, dear. This reminds me of your spiritual team communicating, saying, hey, we're here with you. We're here for you. We see you, and we're working on your behalf. Communicate with us. So you know that you have an entire spiritual team out there guiding you. Now for these great archetypes, we are going to take one card to represent your energy, one for the person or situation that you're inquiring about today. Okay, first we'll take a card to represent your energy here. You have the Hero and Heroine card. Light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. So we talk about the hero's journey in terms of the major arcana, the Fool card, or even the tarot itself, all represents the hero's journey in this earth school. The shadow attribute of this is escapism and a false sense of heroism. So I do feel like for some of you too, knowing you don't always have to wear that cape. If you have people around you too that say things to you, like you wear a cape, you wear all sorts of hats, you've got your hand in everything, you may be stretched a bit too thin. They may be giving you feedback that really try to look at it from a different angle. Are you overdoing things? Are you taking on too many responsibilities? Are you trying to rescue somebody else from their life? We always talk about this here. Nobody's going to come and rescue you from your own life. And so even when we try to help others, we have to be careful of that fine line of doing too much, doing for instead of just supporting. Now this represents the person or situation. Now this is interesting that you're attracting the card of the Rebel. The light attributes, challenges, authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So this could be somebody who's not particularly religious, but more spiritual, who doesn't believe in anything that's discriminatory. So if there's some sort of a religious affiliation around them that perhaps has a lot of bias, they would not be a part of that. The shadow attributes are rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So this is somebody who pushes against rules that they know are rules. They break rules intentionally, or they violate things, laws and things, protocols, procedures around the office place. If it's somebody who consistently comes in late to work, okay, they may be the rebel with more of the shadow aspects. But if it's somebody who perhaps, if you're in a union, really voices their opinions in service of others, then they're in the service of those light attributes. Now, in terms of a relationship here too, this may be somebody who's very passionate about causes. Okay, we don't necessarily want the shadow attributes in a relationship though, because that can be somebody who's not very trustworthy. Now, if it's an ex and you go, oh yeah, my ex had 100 speeding tickets and barely had a license and things like that, then they may also be acknowledging that individual. So let's see what the tarot wants to tell you here. Very interesting. Detailed Celtic cross style reading, if I didn't already tell you that. Current situation, the Six of Swords, moving on with the Tower. In the subconscious, you have the Wheel of Fortune. The distant past is Strength. The more recent past is the Knight of Pentacles. You have the Seven of Wands coming towards you. You're represented by the Queen of Swords. You're attracting the Chariot. You have the Five of Pentacles and your hopes and fears. The Page of Pentacles in the outcome, which I actually do like. Now, this is gritty. How nifty is that? The bottom of the deck, 3 major arcana. Now, the Devil in other decks is called the Ego. And so somebody here, if they do play fast and loose with the rules, I'll tell you what comes in after the Devil, the Tower. And then after the Tower comes the Sun. I'm sorry, the star, pardon me. The sun is over here though. So I feel like with this, all that black, if you've been living under a black cloud, if it's somebody you work for, or if it's some kind of a housing situation where the rug has been pulled out from underneath you, ultimately it will be for the better, or even relationships that end. Because the tower comes in with a purpose to say this is not working. And so somebody too with that devil energy, if they are engaged in some type of dishonest behavior or addiction or something that is just causing the life to be wrung out of life, I feel like that tower comes just in the nick of time. Now, this devil energy can also be quite obsessive energy, okay, that ego-driven energy, but it's also thinking too much, being in a place too of architecting things that are not good in terms of the outcome. Now, I'm really liking this as we look at the cards here. You have the Sun and Judgment in order, just by the way, and there are 78 cards here, but what's coming out of your subconscious is the Wheel of Fortune. So your subconscious is pulling in new people, places, things. It's also pulling in honesty, the answers to questions. If something has eluded you, I feel like you have a big tipping point coming in here. Now you have quite a few major arcana here. I believe we have 7 in total. Yes, that appears to be right. We have Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, Taurus, Cancer is here. We have Capricorn too, and this Archangel Gabriel, which is also too, this one, it helps you find your divine life purpose. So if you are making a big transition, I feel like it's about darn time is what they're saying. Now the sun will shine again on you. The sun is huge gains, it's riches, and it really is an illumination and liberation. So if you've been chained or tied down in any way, there's where you find freedom. Same thing with the energy of judgment. They rise out of the coffins of the ego. So again, if you've been overshadowed by somebody else's influence, their ego, their control, their domination, you're going to be done with that. Judgment is not only freedom, but it's communication. So I do feel like you're going to get communication that you've been waiting for that will set you free. You've got a big realization coming in that's going to lend itself to new perspectives. Even too, you may see an ex. I keep seeing somebody like shrinking down in the darkness. You may see if they really broke your heart, wounded you, or even robbed you blind, you're going to see the tables turn on them and you don't even have to do anything. But I do feel like you're going to be glad to be done with it. You're going to be glad that you are not in that mess. This is a time of renewal. It is a time of you stepping into all the potential, everything that you came here to find, seek, enjoy, and celebrate. So, because in terms of relationships, boy, do you have a good one coming in. Now, the 6 of Swords can represent travel, but in this energy, I do feel like it's telling you that you're moving on from some chaos. The energy of the Tower, I say this every time, let go or be dragged. That tower is on its way out. There's no hanging on to it. It's a tower built on sand and it's crumbling. Do not let it take you down. With the 6 of Swords, I feel like you have a renewed insight. If you are having some trouble with a coworker, even if it's on an interpersonal level, be careful of emails and things. If they are doing things to goad you, do not respond to them, especially at work. Not in an unprofessional way. Stay as clean and squeaky clean is what I hear. Okay, as you can. You keep your own side of the street clean and the rest will come. Okay, you'll see it happening. But with that 6 of Swords, you'll be glad you took the high road. You'll be glad that you didn't get yourself into a position that could have caused problems for you. Now, if it's something too, with the ending of a living situation, I do feel like you're going to eventually look at it and be glad you went. You'll say, I'm glad I'm done with this. With the energy of the Wheel of Fortune in your subconscious, you're going to pull in all kinds of new opportunities. This is wonderful to have here. That wheel of life always turns in your favor. It's also a portal into the divine, reminding you to meditate, quiet the mind, ask and it is given. Know that you're a divine being and you didn't come here to stay stagnant and stuck. So if you're single, you're bringing in somebody who's looking for a connection. And it may be somebody who lives at a distance, but I don't feel like that's going to be an issue. I feel like there are some differences. They're going to be committed to working those out. This is somebody who has very mature energy. So they won't see it as a big deal if there is something like schedule issues or something like that. It just doesn't feel like it's a real key player in terms of problems. So with the energy of strength here in the past, you've overcome something. The strength card is your patience, your endurance, and sometimes it's outlasting problems, and that's part of life, isn't it? And so with this strength card, I feel like you taking the high road will carry you far. Your reputation will be rock solid. There will be nothing that can pull you down because you didn't give an opening. You didn't give anybody the chance to do it. This is being a real class act. It's grace under pressure, grace under fire. And so you handled things in the very best way that you could at the time. There's no turning back and there's nothing to regret here. So with this Knight of Pentacles, you have good news coming in and the page and the outcome with money. Knights are on a quest, and this one will also help to slow things down a bit so that you don't get yourself into a problem financially. The Knight of Pentacles is very prudent energy, so you'll look, you'll evaluate, you'll price shop here, and you'll find the very best prices. You won't be taken for a ride here at all. In terms of relationships, though, again, it is somebody who wants to commit and they're here for the long haul. And they don't do so lightly. This is someone who thinks things through. So they won't jump into a relationship with you without thinking it through. And it's somebody, too, it is very dependable, very trustworthy energy. And you'll find that people in general in this energy, they show up. When they say they're going to be on time, they're on time or maybe a few minutes early. You may also, too, have somebody who comes in that when they're 10 minutes early, they say they feel like they're late because they're very punctual. And so with the Seven of Wands here, you've got a couple of sevens here. Sevens are wonderful numbers in the tarot, and this one is no different. It really is navigating, course correcting. If there are some minor issues, they're not going to do anything to you here. You'll find solutions easily. Wands are here to help you expand. And so when you have this, know that it's a time of directing. It's a time of using your will in the right way. It's passion, it's motivation. If you do something, some kind of change, or you've been doing a change with the physical body, the holidays will be no match for you. You will have steel determination. You'll have willpower like no other. And so you'll be very committed to the journey. With this Queen of Swords, you're just not looking back. You've learned lessons and you're not here to do a sequel to something painful. This Queen of Swords will have you witty, have you very charismatic, and very, very intelligent and cerebral. So your decisions are great in this energy. Your communication is also on point. You'll find that if you interview in this energy, even if it's a phone interview, they'll really enjoy talking with you, people in general. If you do some kind of work over the phone, I feel like you have a facility for it. You're clear, you're well-spoken. People will say you were really easy to work with. You made explanations very clear and succinct. And so with this Queen of Swords energy, you're all about moving forward and not looking back. That Chariot, too, talk about driven to success. If you do start a new job or move or even travel, because you do have travel here a few different times, this is where, again, you won't settle. If there's any kind of mistake, you will catch it and you'll get it taken care of. You're all about getting down to business in this energy. Now, if it's somebody that you're attracting, I mentioned before, it's a very mature energy. But overall, this is a card that tells you that you're going to be using your skill set to your advantage, that your life is expanding, and that this is saying that as you move forward, life is going to be getting really good. I mean, it's a very positive card. So the Five of Pentacles and your hopes and fears, you're walking away from something. And I do feel like it has to do with the Tower and the Devil. That something is just, it comes to the place where you can't unsee it. And you have to move on. And you may have to let go of something that's holding you back that you've just simply outgrown. So with the Page of Pentacles, new opportunities, optimism. If you have an opportunity for more education, it's showing up here. You might not see it now, but you have more training or education coming in. And I feel like it's going to give you a real leg up. If you're taking some sort of test, this is where you pass the test and you say, look at my LSAT score, okay? Maybe you're saying, no, I'm not taking the LSAT, but I do. I feel like it's something like that where it's a big deal. And in terms of relationships, like I said, they're really going to value you. I heard you're just such a gem. So if somebody says that to you, know it was coming in through the reading. I love you, Gemini, and I'll be back again soon.